do that as well.
No. Some better way to be like, lots of traffic. Like, yeah, we think we're so fabulous.
Yeah.
Hi, members of the Pet Photographers Club. I'm here with Kirstie from Bitsa Photography.
Hello.
We're in person together, which is very exciting. We've been chatting all day and we thought we'll finally sit down and actually do our members only deep dive for you guys. So today it's season 1, episode 9, and we're diving into in-person sales just off the back of Andrew from PhotoBiz X's interview, which went live last week. So we're here in my ordering appointment room.
And we're actually here, which is pretty exciting.
So,
and we're not worrying about dodgy internet.
Welcome to my showroom. We're not pixelated. Ooh la la. This is where my clients come in to view their photos. We'll probably do a little spin around with the camera at some point. But basically, we've got samples, my price lists, albums. There's a big screen behind you guys, which is where we do projection sales and view their session film.
Puppies. Hi, girls.
After the interview, here's my what's new in my business.
Yes.
After the interview with Andrew, if you guys have listened to it, there were a couple of big takeaways that I had based on that for in-person sales. One of the biggest ones was the fact that he was chatting about the fact that he does sell unframed prints, but he doesn't have that price list out. It's sort of a on-request thing.
Yeah.
Which blew my mind a little bit because I hate selling unframed prints, as I'm sure all photographers do. I would much rather sell a finished product with a higher profit margin. But I have them on my price list. And when he just straight out said, oh yeah, like we've got the price list there, but it's under the table. And it's only when people actually say, oh, can we get that unframed? Then it's sort of like oh yeah, you can, but that's not what we normally do. But yes, we can do that on request. So I changed my price lists. Originally, I had my sort of a la carte pricing, although I don't call that a la carte because it makes me think of a restaurant. But I had my pricing that wasn't my packages, and I had, this is my price list for that, but I had classic prints, which is what I call the unframed ones, and then I had canvas/framed. And my problem was that because obviously the unframed ones are cheaper than the canvas/framed ones, clients naturally are drawn to the, well, unless they specifically wanted canvas, that's what I sell the most out of the wall art. I had a lot of clients being like, oh, we could just frame it ourselves. And I wanted to stop that. So I've just taken it off now. I've had a couple of ordering appointments since then. Both of them, they went, oh, can we not buy?
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't, so I'll just butt in for a second. I do not sell unframed images at all. I do sell matted only images. Do you have any of those?
That's what I sell. They're matted only.
Oh,
they're
right.
not.
I misunderstood that.
This is my unframed.
Great. That's what I sell too. Mine also look trash like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, I sell those only in 3 small sizes. But anything bigger than 12 by 16, which comes ready to be framed at 16 by 20 on the outside, anything bigger than that is ready to hang. So
right, so you just can't buy it.
You can't buy it.
Right. And that's a good idea, actually. I might do that as well.
That's because I can order those 3 sizes already matted from the lab. Because if I go any bigger, I have to get them custom matted, and that cuts into time, which cuts into my money. Yeah. And I'm not doing that.
So I was just doing, I'm now going to change that. But I was doing, so my matted ones up to 12 by 18. And then above that, I would just explain they're not matted above this size. You would then, then they're loose. And I would explain it. It's because at this size, this isn't any sort of frame that you can pick up in a store. You now have to take this to a custom framer. But very, very rare for me to get someone buy a large unframed print. Once they're buying wall art, they're deciding that they want canvas, that sort of thing. But my problem was trying to push people away from getting the 8x12s.
I have 3 small additional products. That's a 5x7 in 8x10 matte, a 7x10 in a 11x14 matte, and a 12x16 in a 16x20 matte. So those 3 sizes just matted.
Mm-hmm.
All of those are standard sizes on the outside, so that slips into a frame. I do not sell them framed. I've been thinking about ordering some in bulk and just keeping them there.
Which was it Andrew that said he did that?
I'm not sure. But the problem was then I would have to be stocking a black, a white, an oak, and a dark oak in 3 different sizes. That's 12 different frames I've got to have in stock just for one of every one. And I don't have room to stock all of it, and I don't want to outlay that money because I change stuff too often. So I have just decided.
For small, I mean, I don't sell as many frames as I like. Typically with wall art, my clients pick canvas. For me personally, like the artwork all in my house is mostly or entirely framed, except for that one of Lyra that's out there. But that's because that's right in my front door, and that's what clients walk past. So for me personally, I like frames. So I'm sort of like contemplating with steering clients more towards frame, but at the moment it's just a personal preference. It's the same price for them. Canvas are framed. But yeah, so for the smaller ones, they very rarely pick to have it framed because it's matted. But yeah, so I took it off the price list that's in there, but I left it on the prices on the website. Oh. Which is what they're checking before they come in.
Right.
Which last night I was chatting to my partner Ben about it. I'm like, they still, like, I took it off, but then they just were like, oh, can't we get them? Well, and I think the guys yesterday even said, what do you call them? Like classic prints or something. And then so they've done their homework. They're really good clients because I send them so many emails saying, please check the price list, please check the price list, please check the price list. So it's Maple scratching at the door. So really good clients, and they check the price list, but then obviously they came in expecting that. So I've changed again. My business is changing so much since we started doing the podcast because I keep like implementing these good things. It is really good. So I've taken classic prints, so the matted prints, off the full session price list. I'm leaving them on the pocket session ones because most pocket session clients, I'm okay with the fact that I'm just selling matted things.
Yes.
If they wanted canvases and stuff, they'd pay the extra $125 and get a full session. People who are booking pocket sessions, they want little prints or they want the digitals, and I have a package specifically for pocket session clients, which is 25 digitals and like eight small prints. That's the thing.
And is that what most people are buying from pocket sessions?
I've changed that too recently. So my problem was I had my smallest package, pocket sessions, was $5.50. It's called the Chihuahua, and it had I think it was 7 or 8 prints in there. It was like a really good package of different sizes, and it was just a really good package, and everyone was picking it
because there was so much value.
Because it was like a really high value package, which was silly that I hadn't thought this through because it's how I've worked my main packages, but these are newer packages.
Don't you find I do that all the time? So
you like step backwards?
Yeah. I
already knew this.
Yeah, so I run section A of my business like this for a reason. I can tell you exactly why. And then I introduce something new. And all my principles go out the door, my templates. And then I turn to somebody else outside of my business and say, I don't understand why X. And it's usually Shane, my partner. Yeah. And he's like, because it doesn't flow with everything else. I'm like, why did it take you to point that out?
When I was chatting to Ben about, like, everyone buys the Chihuahua package. I really wish they'd buy the package above that. And then he asked me what's in it. And it's like, all this I've changed it now, but there was a lot in it. And he was like, yeah, that's an awesome package. No wonder everyone's buying it. Like, occasionally I would have people buy the digitals if they specifically wanted it, but they were getting 8
everything
prints,
that they needed.
8 big prints, because you're thinking these are pocket session clients. These aren't people that want stuff on their walls. So they're more than happy to have, it was like very 5x7, 8x12, and 1 12x18. Really good package. I was like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So when I do cheap sessions or like a giveaway session or something, if I give somebody an option for a package like that, that's what they'll take. Yeah. So like I did a puppy giveaway thing last year when I wanted to build up my puppy portfolio. I shot 6 sessions and 4 of them bought. I had created, this thing about not following your template. I did the same thing. I created a custom special price list just for those clients, and 4 out of the 6 bought a package like the one you're describing because all they needed is from a puppy shoot. They're going to come back when the dog is fully grown, and that's when they want the big wall art. But for now they just want to capture that awkward puppiness.
So the reason why I implemented these packages in the first place was because once I started doing these pocket sessions, which are sort of 20, 30-minute shoot down the road from where I live.
And do you do a couple back to back?
I do them back to back. I slot them in between sessions. They're really good. Like, that's been a really good thing for me to have. I sell a lot of gift vouchers with that because people, like, it's a cheaper gift voucher. So I like having them. But I quickly found out that people who were doing the pocket sessions, they didn't want to spend $2,000 on canvases. Because honestly, if they wanted that, if they had in their mind that they were doing that, they buy the full session.
Yeah.
Which is double the price.
But also, if a lot of your pocket sessions are gift certificates, that makes sense because they haven't chosen to do the session themselves. Someone else has, unless I don't sell that many gift certificates. I sell enough to make them worth my time in having them. But my best sales from gift certificates are always when it's usually one of the partners has left the computer open.
Yes.
And then being like,
but
my birthday's next week.
So normally those are when it's partners buying it for each other, they buy the full session.
That's right,
because they know that they want to do the whole shebang.
Yeah.
But when it's like mum's bought you
Yes.
a little pocket session, that sort of thing. Or if it's specific, like I have clients that they look at it and they go, no, I want the cheaper option.
Yes.
They want the cheaper option. They don't want to spend $2,000 on canvases. And what I was finding was, because I only had my packages of $2,000 and up, or individual prints.
Oh, you weren't selling anything in between?
I didn't have any packages in between that. So I started doing these pocket sessions. None of them were buying packages because that's just not what they were in the market.
Out of their idea.
Totally, they were thinking
it's going to cut a couple
something
$100
under $1,000, certainly.
Well and truly,
So I had this problem. I was doing these pocket sessions, which in theory were really great, but people were buying the individual a la carte prints, and so then they were potentially only buying, say, 3 8x12s.
Yeah, okay.
So I started making...
And you're making $300.
$200, $300 sales, and I was going, okay, something's got to change. Why is it that I can't sell packages? Okay, it's because that's completely out of their market. It's so easy for me to sell packages to full session clients. No one comes in and says, let me pick canvases. They just go, they pick which package they want. I'm like, well, take that same theory. Let me build packages specifically for pocket session clients. So this is what I was saying, my initial problem is I made the bottom package too awesome. Yeah. So I've switched that all up now. And the top package is the most awesome one. So I'm excited about that. And then I've taken up a lot of our time, but I have one more other thing.
That's okay. I've been busy packing my house, so you can take up my time as well of what we've been up to at the moment.
And then my other little priceless play around, which I was like, genius. Something loads of photographers do. I'm not new at all in doing it. But it's which I was chatting to you about earlier. It's funny because I used to do this and then I took it away. Now I'm bringing it back. But it's basically relabeling my print sizes so that rather than them being in inches, 8x12 for example, I've labeled them extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, giant. Because I want my clients to recognize that when they're ordering a 5x7 or an 8x12, you're asking for an extra small or a small print here. Because when you hold an A4 print in your hand, it doesn't feel tinchy.
But if you hold it up on this wall...
That's what I was going to say. So I do projection sales. It does look tinchy there.
Cool. And as we discuss in-person sales now, I might flick in a little bit of what I've been doing. Because there is one thing I've done in my business this week, which is related to in-person sales. So that's good. That'll work all in flow nicely.
So let's deep dive into in-person sales, which is essentially what we've been talking about.
Basically, my showroom is not as nice as this, but similar idea. I have a couch, which you guys can't see, but we'll show you. Actually, can we do a spin now so people can see? I'll let you because you know how much.
We'll just leave it, but we'll cut it in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's leave the show about where it is now.
Okay. Yeah. So, I have a couch as well. I'll get the client to come in, and I'm actually in a store which sells dog treats. All made out the back, and it always smells like fresh dog treats in there. But like in
Is
a
that a good
good
smell?
way,
Yeah.
it depends what they're doing. But usually, yes, it's like roast pumpkin smell. So pretty nice and homely. So actually, I'm always late, and so I'm very
On purpose?
no.
Kirstie, that's so bad.
I know, but no, I'm there. I'm just not ready. So they think I'm ready, but I'm not. So I know Caitlin's freaking out because she's like OCD with this stuff.
I could not.
I'm never late to a shoot ever. But when it comes to like ordering an appointment, because I like it to be very chill, like, oh, you guys just look at my albums while I do this. And so then I got lazy and just started being like, I've actually got shit to do now, whereas before I was making it up.
Yeah. I always do, do you want a glass of water? I'll go get us a glass of water because I want them to have a chance to have a look through the albums and stuff.
Without
me.
I do the same. But anyway, the good thing about where I am is that my desk is out the back and they can't see me. And if I'm not actually ready, then I send Jane, who works in the shop, out. And so she comes out and says, like, oh, you're here for Kirstie? And of course they say yes. And then she goes, oh, have a look around the store or grab a seat. She'll be with you in just a minute.
You're not a dentist.
It's great. No, it's great because it looks professional. Started off being an accident, but now I actually use it. No, it's great. So, yeah, because I also have a secondary purpose in that the shop I work out of, I really want to support them because they help me a lot. And I do want my clients to buy it. Plus, most of my clients have never been in that shop and they're excited. I hear them walking in and go, oh my God, this is so cool. What are we going to get? And they want a chance to look around. So it's a very relaxed introduction.
Would be very different if someone rolled up to my house
and
I was like,
I'm just dealing with Maple.
Just take a seat on the couch. I'll be with you in a minute.
Yeah, no.
I think I went and finished an email.
So Jane does that. Yeah, that's usually what I'm doing. So Jane does that and says, have a look around. And then she usually is taking their money when I come out for the purchase of the treats. And then I come out and say, hey, go. And clients are always early as well because it is a shop.
No, they're always early.
I
actually have to send in the email because they were always I'm probably 15 minutes, half an hour early.
Wow.
That is too early to rock up to someone's house.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm still like on PJs and bottom half. Or if I have another client here.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to put in there in the email before they order an appointment, I had to say I'm usually with another client or at a session right beforehand. So please don't come early. If you are early, there's a cute cafe around the corner.
Oh, that's a good idea. And the other thing I introduced, me that normally doesn't introduce anything, the lab that Caitlin and I both use here in Queensland, they've started framing their canvases.
I love the way it looks.
So no glass, just the frame around, and I'm only going to offer oak frame, nothing else, because it suits what you come to me for.
Yeah.
I got a sample. Oh, it is beautiful. So I got a 44-inch, I think it was, by 22-inch or something, pano. And it's above my couch in the ordering appointment room, and it looks worth $2,000. Like
maybe it's time for me to put away that canvas of Lyra, which was my very first ever sample from 2010, I think it was. So it's 8 years old. It actually has a tear in it.
Hey, puppy.
A little bit. I'm like really sentimental about it because it's. No, I can get rid of it. I might print the same one.
Okay.
Again, or I have photos of Lyra when she's like 9 months old or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might get a sample there. I want something framed there.
Framed. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, like, this is a framed canvas we're talking about.
Yeah, I could put it, I'd love to get your opinion, actually. I don't know what to put there because I don't want the same thing over here. So maybe just one feature thing, and it can be sort of like, you can get that for the pug package, or you could get that plus the USB and just have a feature piece. But I have to decide whether or not I would have it.
Well, you have to swap them because that wall's skinnier and long. Or we'll talk about this after. Because that's skinny and long, which goes above that, but this you could put it above that and have it more just that in the middle size. Anyway, talk about that later.
Because I want to sell more of the staffy anyway.
Yes. As you hear from everybody all the time, you sell what you show.
Yes.
Introduce the framed canvas, which I just love it. So I've got this long above. Anyway, it looks like a lot of money, and what I'm doing with those is they're the same price as any other wall art plus 10%. So that's easy.
Yeah.
So I just said
a little complicated for me.
I think it's fine because I just because I only offer 3 sizes. So I know it's either $9.90 plus 10%, $12.90 plus 10%, or $1,500 plus 10%, and then they get a framed canvas. And I've already sold one before I even had the sample.
I think I would. Cool. So here's how I might go about that. I would be happy to have the Stacky package, that one with the USB that I sell the most of. I would be happy to just have that as a framed one.
Mm-hmm.
Once I start getting around the $3,000 mark, I don't want to be going, I'm adding on 10%.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
But I could definitely be like, the pub package are these sorts of canvases, or you can upgrade it to that for 10% extra. Or the Staffy package includes a framed canvas.
Perfect. So then it leads them. Oh, it makes more sense to go to Staffy then. Yeah. Anyway, you can work on that, but that's what I offer. Anyway,
now, here was my big thing a couple of months ago, because I was sending out a reminder to clients after our session and before their ordering appointment to send me an email with a photo of their wall space with a piece of A4 paper blue tacked up so that I can mock up the sizes.
So that's for Pro.
That's for Pro Select. I use Pro Select, but also Shoot and Sell. The app, like there's a very
so any in-person sales software has most anyway have an option to drag room view in, which can be one that you've purchased or a client one sends to you. And if you have the A4 piece of paper, that's so that you can work out the sizes. Is that correct?
Okay. Yeah, you can scale it so that you know exactly how big a 20 by 30 is, for example, above their couch. It works really well for sales. My problem was maybe a third of my clients were doing it. I really wasn't. I was like, and then they would come in and they go, we don't know what size. Because you didn't do that thing that I asked you to do. And yeah, so it was super frustrating. And then I'd have so then we'd sort of guesstimate what size, and then I'd be like, so when you go home, do that thing that I sent you, and we'll make sure that it's exactly the right size. But it's so much easier for me to sell when I have it up on the screen and we can actually see, for example, an 8x12 looks ridiculous. Also, like I want to give the right service to my clients. I don't want to sell them a 30 by 40 if they're going to place it above their hall table and it's going to look ridiculously large. Yeah. Like I also want my work to look good in their home. And they might go, well, 30 by 40 is what we saw out in the hall. That looked great. We'll get that. And then it looks silly. I'd rather sell them the 20 by 30 if that's right for the space. Anywho, so now I changed it 10 days before their session. Okay. So when they're super excited, they get an email saying, I have some homework for you. And it turns out that must be a lot of my clients are as geeky as I am, and they hear the word homework and they think, okay. And I think it's just, I mean, obviously after the session they're excited to see photos, but not as excited as they are before the session for the actual experience. Because I have had, I would say, 4 out of 5 clients now send me their wall photos. And it's only the ones that come in and they're like, oh, we didn't send that because we want the album, for example. So I send them through.
I think I think the other good thing about doing that is it's reminding them before the shoot why they're doing the shoot.
Yes.
And that's like, oh, that's right, because I want beautiful wall art in my home, which makes it easier to sell, not just because they're seeing it.
Yeah, but they're thinking through.
Yes.
We're making artwork here.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned in one of the other deep dives that I'd been getting a bit lazy with that. And it, like with planting seeds, and it really was impacting my sales. And just the last few months, or 6 months, I've brought back in all my processes that I used to have. Make sure that, at every touch point there's something about the end result. And since I've done that again, all of my sales have increased and they're back up to where they're supposed to be. And I'm happy with my average and stuff. So you cannot afford to drop the ball on that. And I think that's just one more thing that the client doesn't realise is happening, but by you saying to them, take photo of the wall, firstly, they're getting excited. Secondly, they get to see their photo on the wall, which helps them decide. But thirdly, it's reminding them, like, this is why you're coming to to do a shoot. And I think that's really important.
I had one girl yesterday email me after she got her 10 days before thing. She's had a gift voucher for a pocket session plus $100 thing, and she emailed me and she said, I think I've been completely naive. My mum gave me this gift voucher. I hadn't looked at your price list yet, and I just thought I got the digitals. It's frustrating because in the booking form,
yeah, I get the same thing.
There's a question that says,
what do you want?
A link. No.
Oh.
Have you checked the price list? They have to tick it. And I went back and checked. Yep, she ticked it. They must. I'm sure they just go.
They just think it's a terms.
I will do that.
Terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Thing. But can I just interrupt? Do you ask them at any point, like, what are you interested in?
I also ask them that.
Yeah. Because I've got that, and it's a drop down, or what are you mostly excited about purchasing or something?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that wording.
And it says, framed prints, and then in brackets from $950.
Yeah,
which is incorrect now, but anyway. Canvases from X, albums from X. Mm-hmm. They have no excuse to say, I had no idea that this was going to cost me X, because they've already ticked the thing to say, I'm going to buy this product at least $990. I found that I used to say to people, like, make sure you've spoken to each other and you're on the same page and you know what you're both happy to spend. But then they'd come in and they'd say, like, so our budget's $1,000. And I'm like, that means you've got to get this shitty size canvas when really for that space you're talking about, you need this one. And then I've got to do all the work all over again. Yeah. Really making sure that every single time I talk to my client, I'm saying to them, have you got a space picked out? Or, when I'm shooting, I'll show them a couple of images on the back of the camera. I'm like, imagine this as your canvas. This is going to look so good. Or I can't wait to see this as a canvas. That's what I would do with it. Or at the end of the session, I'm normally saying something like, God, I hope you want the USB because I have no idea how you're going to choose. Oh, gosh, I only usually show 25 images a week and I have like 40.
So I was just about to ask that. So for our members listening, you normally show about 40?
Yeah, so I normally show 25 because I did used to show 25. Mm-hmm. But now I want to sell the USB. That was you. And so to sell the USB, the easiest way is to show more images, which you also pointed out to me.
Without wanting to sound grossly salesy, the easiest way to sell the USB is to slightly overwhelm your client with choices. Not, you don't want, obviously, it to get too boring stage, and you also don't want to be sitting in your in-person sales appointment and spending 3 hours going through photos. But I found, say, around 85 for me, which is the way I shoot, it's very easy, and it's actually quicker for me to show more. Yeah. Because the time-consuming thing is not the editing of the photos. I sort of batch that to a certain extent. I might change cropping a little bit, and obviously as you move through a location, some things change. But
cooler or whatever.
In general, the colour bit is very quick. Where I'm a perfectionist is choosing which photos.
I remember saying, like, I only do, 25 images max, and over time, as the conversation as our businesses have evolved, we've both changed the way we do it. But I remember ever since back then, you were saying, if the client wants the USB anyway, they're paying a lot of money for it. Yeah, so you need to jam pack it full of value. And Caitlin's not showing 80 identical images, basically. No. They're all very different, that's probably why I stop at, I'm saying 40, but the last 3 shoots, like the 3 shoots I did this week, I think there was 54, 48, and what's the other shoot? Oh, the other shoot was a smaller one, 30 something. It was all indoors on a pouring winter's day in Melbourne. So yeah, probably the average is 40.
I think, so I do a lot of photos of people and their pets. Yeah. That's where there'll be quite a few in a row that are very similar. Mm-hmm. The reason why is because back when I first started, I would pick the one I thought was most flattering to the client. Turns out the client has a different idea of what they think looks good for themselves, and they might, like, for example, if I hate my side profile, which I'm sure is just something that's mostly in my head, but I would never want a photo of my side profile. And if a photographer didn't show me a few different angles and stuff, even if they didn't mind they thought that looked great, I would straight away be like, ugh. And then if there was only like one other photo of me, I'd be like, okay, well, I definitely don't want that one, so I guess I have to take this one, blah, blah, blah. So I'm very happy to take, say, 3 to 4 different facial expressions and slight different poses and that sort of
I do
different
that as
cropping
well.
in a family thing.
For the same reason I do that, and I think it's really important. And actually, at the beginning before the slideshow, I'll tell the client, like, look, there are a lot of photos to choose from. Don't freak out. Depending on what you want to do, I'm going to work with you to get it down. Before I begin the slideshow, I always say to them, now, this is a TV, TVs are not made to show photographs. If your skin looks a little bit orange or a bit weird, it's just a TV. Use your imagination. I will show you on the laptop later. And people laugh and they love it. And then I say, just one more disclaimer, I haven't done the lead removal yet. That's the most time-consuming part. But that will happen to anything purchased.
Yeah, and I do exactly the same thing.
Yes, I show the slideshow, and then obviously, same as with you would happen, there's a bit of emotion, and once...
Yeah, I have tissues.
Yeah, me too.
Your clients cry. I love it. If the dog gets sick or...
Oh, no, I don't like that.
Then I hate it, and
you're crying too.
I'm crying too. I find it really overwhelming, and the whole film experience is like really emotional.
With the video as well.
With the video and everything, and if once they start crying, I'm crying, and then I feel silly, and anyway, so
I'm pretty good with emotion, but I feel bad that I'm not crying, because I'm like, oh God, you think I don't love your dog? But I'm just heartless.
You're just a cold hard bitch.
Anyway, so show the slideshow. They're all emotional. Once they've composed themselves, I say cool. So, let's go through the images one by one and work out what you want to do, and then that normally leads me into like, do you know what you want to do?
So have you already gone through the images and then you ask them?
No. Straight to the slideshow, because if they want the USB, if they want the USB, great, let's just wrap this up, see you later.
2 out of 3 times they go, no, we've got no idea.
Yeah, me too.
And then that's my opportunity to go, well, let me walk you through the price list, because it can be confusing to look at it just on the website, and then I take them through everything and explain it. Is if, for example, you're leaning towards the stacky package or the USB or an album, then we don't need to be nearly as strict when we cull through these. If you're thinking that you're doing the pug package, for example, where we're trying to pick just 3 or 4 canvases, when we go through, I'm going to help you be super ruthless, because we've got 85 photos here, so we're going to have to really cull them down. But if you want something where you get a whole bunch of them, then we're sort of just going to go through and pick your very favourites that might be your feature thing.
Do you have people turning around and saying, like, I just can't get it to 3 or 4. I won't be able to do that. Yes. I won't be able to get the part.
And I go, that's pretty normal. Yeah. That's why the Staffy's the most popular package.
Yeah.
But genuinely, I'm not like bullshitting them. Staffy genuinely is the most popular package. But that sort of asking them once, they say no. If they, like, sometimes people go, yes, I know exactly what we want. We want a mini album. Okay. I'm not here to, like, push you to buy.
Same as me.
So I might at the end be like, do you want like a little print or something as well? If they're coming in saying, we want the mini album, they've had that discussion there. I don't want them to walk away feeling like, oh, she really hard sold us there.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with that, actually. I really couldn't stress like the importance of listening to what your clients say all the way along. And if when you're saying like, this is going to look so good on canvas, they're going, then you know that, that's probably a budget thing, because who wouldn't want a beautiful end result like on the wall every day? And saying stuff like that as well is really, really important. Have you thought about a room to put these in? And then when they go like, oh, I'm not really sure, I do have a space that's big that I could fill. And then I always say, is that a room that you're in? Because these are images that they're going to provoke emotion from you every time you look at them. Yeah, and I really do that. And I say, personally, I'm in my kitchen, after hours. And if I'm angry and chopping carrots, the thing that's going to help me de-stress is when I look up and there's this beautiful image of my dog staring at me.
Reminding you what's important.
Exactly. And I say stuff like that all the time, and then they go, And then when they come in for their own appointment, they say, like, I was thinking about what you said, and I think about the dining table because that's the space that I'm in all the time.
Well, you know, so I have this wall in my lounge room, which it's like a gallery wall. It's got a whole bunch of photos. And I legitimately, when I'm feeling stressed out, Ben will find me there. I sit on the couch, look like a complete weirdo.
Zombie.
I go zombie, and I sit on the couch, and I just look it really calms me down. Because it's all photos of me and my partner and our friends and the dogs, and it's just for me, it's just a big wall of love. I've never thought to
you tell that story.
Yeah,
That's how I sell albums as well. Caitlin's album, by the way, I'm talking about. So basically, if people say, I just don't know if I'll look at it, or I know it's going to sit on the coffee table. Now, I don't get that as much now because I have the wall hangers. Yes. So the album is
I do get that a lot.
On the wall.
I don't know if we'll look at it.
Yeah. And if I know I'm not going to sell them USB, then my next goal is album. Because I can sell album and something for the wall.
Yeah.
And be at the same price point. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so my little story with that is, you know, I didn't ever think that I would look at an album either, but I knew that I wanted all the images as a keepsake for later down the track, and I know that printed is going to outlast USB. And so when I had a photo shoot with my dog, this one, that's what I ordered. I had an album designed, and I absolutely love it. No, I don't look at it every day. I don't even look at it every week. But when I'm down, when I'm grumpy, when there's no power, something like that, that sits in my room on a tall boy thing. And that's the thing I grab, and I do flick through it, especially if, you know...
There's something really calming about photos of your own family and stuff. And I think it's easy to forget what the client experience is like when we're just so focused on selling. Which, side point, we're doing a whole other deep dive on actually hiring photographers as a photographer.
Is that me?
Is that what?
Is that thing?
As you know, last week. But we're about to film it after this. So if you watched last week's one, that's what that was. That's why I haven't said.
So thanks so much for joining us. We hope that you got lots out of that. Obviously you're getting, well, we run at some stuff a little bit different and some stuff a lot the same. So
the theory there is pretty similar, but that's why we're going to be interviewing pet photographers who work for big studios and like all sorts of different businesses, because we both run sort of more boutique experiences, I would say.
Good words.
Great.
But yeah, there's tons and tons of content in there, so hopefully it's applicable to all of you. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to put a post up in the group. That's super helpful for anybody else that might not even realise they have the same question, but then want to know the answer once they see it. So feel free to do that.
We should also put a link to that Excel spreadsheet.
I will.
Shane, so Kirstie's boyfriend's an accountant and made like this really cool spreadsheet so you guys can work out your, what is it?
Required average sale.
And it's free. And it's on Dogs at the Door, so we'll put a link to that too.
Yep. Great.
Have an awesome week, guys.
See ya.